Hello students, I'm Damini and we are dealing with agriculture in India. Today we are doing with the part 5 on behalf of personal tutors. We are going to talk about today cotton and jute. Prior to these two are the fiber crops. Prior to this we have been dealing with rice, wheat, pulses, millets, and then we have also done sugarcane. So we have done the food crops and you all are familiar with the word fiber crops, which provide us with the fiber, maybe for making the cloth, or it may be for making the jute bags. So we are today dealing with the fiber crops. When we speak about fiber crops, these are the cash crops available to the farmer. The farmer basically grows them for the purpose of sale, and that is how they are called as cash crops. We first deal with cotton. You are familiar with the cotton cloth. So first we are dealing with cotton as the fiber cloth. Now it's a universal fiber. This is a fiber which is generally used all over the world, and then provides the raw material. The cotton provides the raw material for the textile industry. Wherever the cloth is manufactured, the cotton is used as the raw material. It is from the cotton that the cloth is being manufactured. This crop can be grown in subtropical and tropical. This is the tropical region, and just above this the subtropical region, because needs high temperature, uniformly high temperature. Doesn't need low temperature, so uniformly high temperatures, and that is how it is grown in the tropical and the subtropical region. Also requires plenty of sunshine. It needs good amount of sunshine. Maybe initially when it is grown it needs rain, but then once the plant grows up and once the cotton balls develop, it needs plenty of sunshine for the balls to ripen and burst open. So it needs plenty of sunshine. You need to understand that this is a plant which is roughly 1 and 1.5 meter high. The plant is around 1 and 1.5 meter high, and then it develops after some few days, it develops the flowers here, and this flower gets converted into balls. The flower ripens up and it develops into a ball which bursts open, and from that the fiber is taken out. The plant is grown. Once it grows up to a certain height, it starts flowering. When the flower is there for a whole day, it generally survives for 1 day, and after that the below part of the flower has a ball-like structure. This ball opens up and the fiber comes out of from this. When it bursts open, a shiny fiber comes out of it. Now so it needs plenty of sunshine for this ball to burst open. Needs rainfall of around 50 to 80 centimeters, well distributed throughout the year. This is a crop which is on the field for roughly 8 months. It's not a crop which is a short duration crop. So roughly needs 8 months it is on the field. So well distributed throughout the year. The rainfall is not very high, 50 to 80 centimeters, but well distributed throughout the year. But this rainfall should not occur when it is bursting open or when we are harvesting the crop. During harvesting, if there is rainfall, then the fiber becomes discolored. It becomes yellowish in color. So during that time, during the time of harvest, if there is rainfall, it harms the fiber. The fiber loses its color. So the cotton ball, which is like this, has a fiber inside this, and it has seeds on top. This burst open and the fiber is taken out and the seeds are separated. But then we are saying the inside part is, the covering of this is yellowish from here. So this part If it rains, gives it color to this particular, and also if it rains during that time, it may be susceptible to pest. So rainfall during the harvest time is harmful for the crop. You all are familiar with the word black cotton soil, so it grows very well on the black soil. But then it also grows on the alluvial soil because it's a soil exhaustive crop. Now we are saying for 8 months it is growing right up to the height of 1 meter, so it's going to take away the fertility from the soil. It's a soil exhaustive crop, generally grown in black soil or in alluvial soil. Which are very fertile soils. The cotton is graded according to the length of the staple. Now this thread, this fiber which exists inside, is called as the staple. And the cotton is graded if this staple is very long, we are calling it as long staple. Long staple means it should be more than 25 centimeters. The length of this staple should be more than 25 centimeters or roughly 25 centimeters. Then it is considered to be a good quality, because what will happen is that 25 centimeters, only after 25 will be the next joint on the thread. If this is 25, the next one will be joining it only after 25. This will come after 25 centimeters. And this long staple fiber is fine and shining, generally grown in Punjab and Haryana. It has a shine and it is a finer one, grown in Punjab and Haryana. The next one is the medium staple cotton, which has a length between 20 to 25 centimeters, grown in Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. This length is little less than the long staple, and the short staple is even shorter than that, 20 centimeters of the length. Initially, India had this long staple cotton, but after partition, this area went to Pakistan, and we don't have this long staple in many of the states except in Punjab and Haryana. When you look at how it is being processed, the cotton is being processed, the growing season varies from region to region. Say for example in Punjab and Haryana, it is April and May when it is sown. In certain other regions it's sown even later than that. So it is mainly sown by broadcasting or by dibbling method, either by throwing the seeds or making the furrows, and on that they put the seed. Maybe where the long staple is there dibbling is done, but otherwise it is broadcasting which is being done. Generally harvested in October because the temperatures are high during that time and it's not raining in that particular month. So harvested in the month of October. After it is being harvested, after it has been harvested, the cotton staple is taken out and it is sent for the process of ginning. We are saying ginning is the process of removal of seed from the fiber. That is, this staple has black colored seeds on top of it. So this has to be removed through with the help of machines. They are sent into the machines where they separate out this black colored fiber. You have to remember this process of ginning is an important, what is ginning is an important concept, because removing of this fiber and fiber from the seed, and after ginning it is converted into bales. That means the fibers are joined together and wrapped. The fibers are joined together and they are wrapped. So we call it as converting them into bales. And after it has been converted into bales, it is sent to the mills for further making of the cloth. So ginning, harvesting and ginning. After ginning it is converted into bales, from where it is sent to the mills for the manufacture of the cloth. The black cotton soil area is Gujarat, Maharashtra, even parts of Madhya Pradesh. So the leading producer states are Gujarat and Maharashtra, and along with that there is Madhya Pradesh, and the South Indian states are also there, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. The South Indian states are also involved in cotton production. Basically, when you read about this particular cash crop, you need to know this very important concept. What is ginning? This is an important term here. The climatic conditions uniformly high, 21 degrees centigrade to 30 degrees centigrade. How is rainfall harmful? What is the value range within which the rainfall has to be there? And then you need to remember that it's a tropical crop. After cotton, we start with another fiber crop, that is jute. So let's look at jute. Now this fiber is known for its strength. You have heard about jute bags. So for carrying things, you have heard about jute sacks. Jute sacks you have heard about, where we put in wheat, rice and certain other things. On the sack, the wheat is being packed and we transfer it from one place to another. So it's known, main properties, it's known for its strength. Along with that, now when we are speaking about bags, softness, length and luster. Luster is the shine that it gets because of that particular fiber. It's called as a golden fiber because it's versatile in nature. That means that it is easily adaptable type of material to whatever color we want. We can adapt that particular, or it is being used to given different uses. Lots of uses are made of this particular fiber. Generally it is brown in color. It is brown in color, but it can be dyed to any other color also. Known as brown paper of wholesale trade. I said sacks because it is in the sacks that they make, that they transport things. So that is why brown paper of wholesale trade. There are two types of jute that are being found, white jute and toss jute. Again, for jute, you will have to remember that the region where it grows is the Indo-Gangetic Delta, the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta. So this mainly grows on the river delta. The one which grows on the river delta is a hardy variety. It can resist that flow of flooding of the water. It's grown on lowlands. It's called as white jute. It can withstand that flooding that occurs over there, and therefore known as white jute, grown on lowlands. The other one is toss jute, which cannot withstand the flooding and therefore grown at a little height, known as toss jute. So climatic conditions, when we look at, it needs hot and humid climate. The climate in this particular region is humid. It's quite a lot of water here and the temperatures are high. So hot and humid climate, 24 to 35 degrees of temperature. When you are writing the temperature, write it within this range. If you cross this range, then you lose the marks. Rainfall, it is heavy rainfall. Around 200 centimeters of rainfall is required, and high humidity. It's a fiber, so the fiber requires sufficient amount of moisture into it, and because of the high temperature, the moisture attains a lot of strength. It becomes dry and then it absorbs the water. So that is how it is high in strength. Prolonged drought is harmful for this. If it is prolonged drought, the fiber may not be able to sustain. It may break because of lack of moisture into it. So soil is sandy loams, but then again it's an soil exhausting crop. So alluvial soil of Ganga Brahmaputra is very useful for this particular crop because this soil gets replenished every year. So it's a soil exhausting crop, stands on the field for a longer duration of time. It is sown in March and April and harvested in July and September. After it is being harvested, the fibers are dipped in fresh water. They are taken into fresh water and soaked into that fresh water for 3 to 4 days, so that the outer bark can be separated by, this is the outer bark and this is the fiber. These two get detached and the outer bark can be removed from the fiber. The fiber can be separated from the outer bark, and this process is called as retting. The removal of the outer bark from the fiber, because it has been soaked in water for some days, so that because of that microbial process, the bark and the fiber, bark loosens and the fiber can be taken out. This process is called as retting. So remember, this retting and ginning are two important terms which are frequently asked. West Bengal is the leading producer state in production of jute, because this has humid climate. The region has humid climate. Ganga Brahmaputra Delta, this particular region is rich in alluvium, and then the land is flat and there is plenty of fresh water, as well as this is densely populated region, so cheap labor is available for doing the work of removal of the fiber and converting it into jute bags. In overall, in fiber crops, you'll remember the climatic conditions and what is retting and ginning. These are the two important parts. Why is West Bengal a leading producer crop of jute in India? Okay. With that, we finish off with this particular part. बंद कर दो भैया, इसको बंद कर दीजिए, इसको बंद कर दीजिए अब आप.